Hello and welcome to another Learn Clojure video. So today we'll be looking at a thing called exception handling. Not every time okay, as a programmer you'll be concentrating on a very narrow set of rules that best defines the problem given to you, right? But that narrow set of rules doesn't always satisfy the real world conditions. So what might happen is like some exception can occur. Like when you want to open a file using Slurp or something like that, that file might not even exist due to some reason, right? So how to deal with this? And this is called as exception handling. And we look about, we look what it is. Okay, so that's the thing. So first I need to put my REPL, right? Yeah, first let me just keep a file called exception handling .clj, right? And then I need to put my terminal. Okay, so I don't know what happened to my terminal, right? Oops. Yeah, there it is. And let me just start my REPL, right? I'd like to show this again and again because my Clojure book is written for Clojure newbies and starters, and by repeating again and again, like it becomes familiar to them. Nothing else, right? So now let me just now what to say, connect to a REPL that's not in this project. Okay, and of course I use LinengIn, right? And I just copy this port number 448857, right? And let me just paste it over here, and hopefully things are okay. And let me just try out a program that is like, let me just try out a simple closure snippet, and if I press alt enter, yeah, it works, right? And I don't think you need visuals of this terminal, so let me just reduce it. Okay, and let me just get off the sidebar too. Let me make it bigger so that you people can see it better, right? Okay, right. So let's try our first stuff. Okay, so we don't have any file called does not exist.txt. So right, so and okay, let me make it a little bit small, right? Okay, so we don't have any file called does not exist.txt, right? And so we try opening it, right? And if it doesn't get open, like it raises a thing called exception, which is caught over here in this form, right? And we are reading its message using this get message, dot get message. This is actually a Java stuff, this dot get message, and we are passing this exception to it. And we are just printing out the message, as simple as that. So the thing you need to remember is this try some code where exception might occur, and then this catch, and we are catching any kind of exception over here, right? And let me just try to execute it. Okay, so it just print, okay, caught exception, and then whatever, like does not exist.txt, no file or directory, right? So this is how it is. And the reason why we are doing is like maybe we can print a user-friendly message or something over here, right? So that's the thing, rather than showing an ugly output from Java or Clojure or something like that, which is not so much comprehensible to humans, right? So that's the thing, right? So yeah, let me just try another one, right? So here is the thing, right? So whenever exception happens, like whatever fails after this, okay, like this one fails, right? This line 10 over here fails, right? This doesn't get executed, definitely, because it's an exception, right? Okay, so, and it just comes to this catch block, and it just catches the exception, and whatever is in catch gets executed, right? So that's how it is. Right? So this won't get printed. So let me just execute it. Alt 10 enter. Okay, so you see this thing, this println form doesn't, it hasn't got executed. So that's how it works, right? So yeah. So whenever an exception happens, okay, like, okay, like you do catch it, and maybe you just display a human-friendly message. But if at all you just want to do, even though the exception happens, you want to do something. Okay, so maybe log it or something like that. Okay, so put that stuff in a thing called finally. So let me just what to say, insert some spaces so that you can separate, you can see it in separate. Uh, it'll be separated enough so that you can understand. So try over here, right? And you're just slurping it, and and definitely this won't get executed because this causes error. And oops, and this catches it. Okay, so and you get the message printed, and even though the exception happens, you want to execute some code, so you put that into this finally form, right? So that's how it is. And let me just hit alt enter. Okay, so okay, yeah, of course, caught exception does not exist, no file or directory. Yeah, that's from here, right? From this catch, right? Okay, so but then you have this finally over here, right? And even though exception happens, this you caught it, and finally you just execute this one, right? Maybe yeah, you can write it in a log or something like that. Something you can do, right? So that's the thing, right? So that's what finally is there for, right? So okay, so till now we have just got exception in a generalized way, but it's better to uh, what to say, for a programmer to think what exceptions could occur, and it's better to catch stuff on. So let's take a look at another program, right? So this one. So over here, if you can see, right? Over here, rather than just giving, say, like exception E, we have specifically looking for file not found exception. So, of course, this is from java.io, right? So, we are specifically looking for file not found, right? And okay, so if you just want to know, like, how I found out those exceptions, okay, so over here in this Java platform documentation, unfortunately, it's from Oracle, right? So, a very evil company, right? So like if you just look over here, like you have got all these exceptions over here, file not found exception, right? So all those things are there, right? So this is what I'm just, it's for this exception I'm just trying to catch it. So yeah, I'm just catching it over here, right? So if you're a good programmer, it's better to imagine as much as many exceptions you want to catch, and you better catch them, right? So and might be some kind of exception needs some kind of handling, right? And you better do those kind of handling over here, right? So when you catch it, so yeah, that's the better way to go. Okay, so now let me just execute it. So yeah. So I'm just catching a very specific kind of exception where it's file not found, and yeah, I just get almost the same output, right? Okay, so that's how it is, right? And if you want to catch many exceptions, there is also a way, right? So let's try out this code, and okay, right? So okay. So there is a thing called number format exception, right? So the format of a number is not right. Okay, so I am trying to pass it pass not a number, a string to a integer, and definitely not a number cannot be passed to a integer, right? So that's the thing. So this one throws an exception, right? And it's a number format exception. Look, number should not be formatted like this. Maybe a number can be formatted like 5, 6, 7 or something like that, right? So that's the thing, right? And so this exception gets caught, okay, and this one gets printed, right? Okay, so that's what happens. And yeah, these two stuffs get ignored, okay, because a specific exception is getting caught over here, right? So that's the thing, right? So let me execute it, keep my cursor over here and hit Alt Enter, right? So yeah, of course, this catch block or form, okay, I say it as form, right? So gets activated. So that's how it is. So for this null pointer exception, there is a way to trigger it. Okay, so since we are reading exception, I'm sorry. Since we are reading exceptions, there are ways to trigger exceptions, and we are taking pains to do that so that we understand it. Okay, so that's the thing. So we have a thing called print length function, right? So let me load it into my REPL. Okay, so it got loaded, right? And you can do print length of hello world, but you can't do print length of nil, okay, because okay, null pointer. Okay, so it throws a null pointer exception, right? So that's how it is, right? So over here we are just trying this, okay, like print length of nil. Okay, so and over here there is a number format exception. Of course, it's not a null pointer exception, so it gets ignored. And we have this null pointer exception. So this one works. So this gets executed. And of course, we are trying to catch all other type of exceptions over here. So maybe like in your real program, you can catch all other type of exceptions. You can log it. And maybe like then with this logging over here, right? Okay. You can catch very, very specific kind of exceptions so that like this hitting of this catch gets minimized. Okay. So, and you know what exception is handling and you handled it properly. Okay. So, rather than in a very general way. Right? So, that's how it is. Okay. So, let me just execute this form. Right. So, keep my mouse over here and hit Alt Enter. Right. Alt Enter. So null pointer exception and all those stuff. So it what to say, null format exception. Sorry, null pointer exception, right? So that's how it is. And of course, this doesn't get activated because we are not doing something else. Okay, maybe yeah. If you want to activate this, maybe you can do something like okay, what to say? Just put comment this off, right? I'll just put like, okay, like slurp does not exist.txt. So now this will get activated, right? So yeah. So Alt Enter. Okay, so caught a generic exception, right? So caught a generic exception and no file or directory. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, this is a bonus from a video. Right? So this is how you handle exception. Try, catch, and then finally, if at all you want to execute a code no matter whatever exception happens, right? So this is what exception handling is. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.